This is Health Unfiltered, the podcast where we cut through the bullshit and get honest about fitness, nutrition, and mental wellness.
Hey Trey, how are you doing today?
Blessings, Jess. I am grateful and so excited to be here on your show.
Me too.
Hi, listening audience or visual audience, I guess too, huh?
Yeah, we've got listeners and viewers. I know we had to reschedule a few times, but I'm really happy we ended up connecting. I've been so excited to talk to you about trauma. Um, Before we get into it, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I would love to. Thank you for asking. So, hey all, I am Trey Urban. I am your energy alchemista, and I am a mother. I'm a grandmother. I am a great grandmother, born and raised out in Colorado in the Mile High City. So, let me tell you, after being paralyzed from a car accident, I was so desperate. I was desperate for hope. And that began my healing journey. So when you say trauma, and forget my life before that, because I went through lots of initiations in my life. I left home at 15. I had 3 kids by the time I was 19. The journey to awareness and healing has been incredible for me. So thank you so much for asking.
Definitely. So how long were you paralyzed for?
So in 2010, I was rear-ended, or the husband at the time, we were at a stoplight, and here I am, you guys. So it's a big SUV, and I have a big hump in the middle, and I'm all strapped in, and I'm like looking because I'm a talker. I want eye contact, and we're at a stoplight. So I'm leaning over, all twisted, talking to the husband, telling him about my day, and boom, I heard the like literally, but because of the strap,
Ooh,
and then they
the
said the bumpers
seatbelt.
lined up. So they said, had the bumpers not lined up, the car would have absorbed the impact, but instead, my body did.
Ooh, you got
So
the full
that
impact.
began, yes. And because of the twisted and the contorting, and let me tell you, it didn't happen right away. It, I then began, I went to the, chiropractor in the emergency room, and the they sent me orthopedics and physical therapists, and they kept going, something is really wrong. And then days later, my disc actually bulged from the pressure or the contorted, and it
Ooh,
paralyzed me. And worse yet is that the hospital misdiagnosed me, and because I had said I had been working with orthopedics and blah 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 because of the car accident, they sent me home with like oxys and muscle relaxers and said, go see your person on Monday.
yeah.
But so 2 days later, I was in such excruciating pain. I went back, and still nothing worked from my waist down. And then they finally did an MRI and saw that my disc had bulged. Immediately went into emergency surgery to relieve the pressure, and they basically said, well, whatever you have after this, you kind of have about a 12-month window, right? And I was like, what? And then they wanted to hand me a handicap placard in a wheelchair, and my tenacity and my fury, I said no. And I
Oh,
said, I
hell
don't want the
no.
handicap placard. And I said, give me that walker. So I literally from that point started dragging my noodle legs. I'm like in the walker for years. And let me tell you, walker for like 4 years. Easy. And
Wow.
then I graduated to one like with brakes. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yep.
That so that I could have a little more freedom. But yes, this journey, it has been a journey. And 13 years later, listen, I want you to celebrate with me. 13 years later, which was last year, about
Mm-hmm.
in October, when and you guys, so my anniversary is October 15th is when I was paralyzed, and October 17th is when the actual surgery happened to relieve it. So October's historical. But last year, this time I was able to get into a pair of heels and walk. And everyone was like, that's never going to happen. They said walking was never going to happen, but I'm a defy odder.
You
I
overcame
defy
the
the
odds.
odds and because I don't let people tell me what my life is going to be. I get to decide. I get to decide.
Definitely.
And then began the journey of awareness of the mental body, the emotional body, and how the spiritual body all play a part to heal the physical body. And that's
That's
hello, how I walk and talk. I'm back on my motorcycle, roller skating. Even
nice.
I bought my first pair of roller skates earlier this year. I love it. So
Wow.
now I'm
What kind of
here
bike do
to
you
help
ride?
other people. I actually, so I had a custom Harley, and it was
Hmm.
a 1200 Sportster, the lowrider edition, and
Wait.
I had bought it off the showroom floor, fully loaded,
Hmm.
custom. And then I got a custom paint job on it. But after the accident, it was so top heavy that I had to sell it, and so now I have a Honda Shadow, so that I can,
Yeah.
it has a lower center of gravity, so and it
Be a
helps
little
my
easier to
legs and not my
maneuver.
back.
Yeah, definitely. I
But
had a
what's really
Suzuki
interesting
Bandit.
is so everyone rides in my bike, and my son said that my bike is heavier than his bike, and I said no way. But I guess it is. So interesting how
Yeah,
distribution of weight changes the whole scenario.
it does. So how did you recover from your legs being paralyzed?
Oh, it was a long journey. Long, long,
Yeah.
long, long, long journey. And let me tell you, thanks to, because I had really been deep in the church thing for about 14 years. So,
Yeah.
and I had led countless groups, and I had a deep, deep, deep faith. So first and foremost, I know it was my faith. It was my complete belief that there is something
Hmm.
grander than myself, because for me that's one of the keys. I have an amazing book called Five Keys to Miraculous Healing, and that's the website. So if you guys are interested, it's Five Keys to Miraculous Healing.com, where I really get into what I believe were the five keys. And first and foremost, it was having belief in something greater than yourself, to borrow into the possibilities of healing and change, or evolution beyond what you could comprehend, right? and
Wow.
and and then being able to take
Right.
ownership of the situation, and really be accountable to what I perceive as, now I believe in my current belief system, that we create our experience. I believe that our journey is predestined, but we create how turbulent the water is or how calm it is based on our thoughts and our emotions around our thoughts. Right.
I'm
And
down with
so when
that.
I
Yeah.
really began to take ownership that I was miserable in my life, I hated my life. I had the husband, I had the kids, I had the amazing job, went on vacations, had all the things, but I was miserable. And I knew I was praying, God, I know I'm not in my purpose. Please help me get in my passion, because I am not waking up every day to love in my life. And I believe that the cumulative of my pain in life, it reflected in my experience. And there's two amazing books that I know, like Louise Hayes wrote an amazing book about healing your body, but my
Hmm.
favorite is by Karen Truman, and to me it's the next level, and it's called Feelings Buried Alive Never Die. And what happens is what I believe now is energetically, magnetically, vibrationally, that energy will be validated and confirmed, whether by, you want to believe creator, source, law of attraction, manifestation, but
Whatever you
that
call it.
it has to present itself. So that began my belief, that, and my daughter, I was so grateful. I had people around me saying things like, you know what, there's miraculous healings all around the world. We're going to find it for you. And and
I
and
love
and
that.
and then my auntie Kay, she was a savior. So my auntie Kay was a massage therapist. So from the
Hmm.
moment I got home, she came like 2 times a week, and massaged up and down my scar so scar tissue wouldn't come. And I was
Yeah.
diligent. I was at the pool every single day. I was at my physical therapy every single day. I I said, and because like mind you, they told me I had 12 months. And I'm like, well, if I only have this window, uh, and I'm like,
You got to give it your
that
all.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go hard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they gave me this window, and then I was like, mm-mm. And listen, on it's at the end of a 12 months, I was still dragging noodle legs. I was
Yeah.
still dragging legs. So if I would have listened to them, that's where I would have ended my journey. And trust me, that's where it would have ended if that's what I decided. But because what you believe is the truth, your
It's
thoughts
very
are
powerful.
the truth.
Yeah.
Yes. So one healer after another. And I kept praying every day, God, thank you for my next healer, my next teacher, my next wisdom keeper to help me. And I have gotten to have energy sessions from like famous people on TV, like the amazing, gosh, let me think of his name now. Blonde hair. Oh, what is his name? Gosh, he's really good hitting it hard on Facebook now. Gosh, I can't think of his name right now. But he had a show and had advertised, does anybody want an energy healing? I was on that. I received it on my birthday. And there was no
Wow.
way he would have known, I just, it was one of those things on TV. But I
Mm-hmm.
knew, I was like, he's the next one and the next one. And through that, I have manifested meeting Michael Ozier, the man who wrote the Law of Attraction. And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? He is one of the fastest healers I have ever met in my life. He's an emotion code practitioner. I've worked with tribal people from around the world and different cultures. It's been amazing. So first I learned Reiki, and then I played out on after I got to the point, because everything was levels and stages
Yeah.
and tenacity and a lot of tears, and you know what really got me through, Josh, was giving myself permission to have this much time every day to cry and feel the piteous party for my freaking self and let it all out and have
Yeah.
that
It's
brain
important.
blast of that emotional dump and all the dump, and then that's it. Okay, pick your go.
Let it out and
And
move
because
on.
if not, we hold, and then that's how we have trapped traumas and unprocessed emotions, because we're like, no, suck it up, show a little backbone, you're right.
Right.
No, people,
So what
please, let's move the trauma.
so what is trauma? Can you go into that a little bit?
What is what?
What exactly is trauma? I've heard, like wounds, like unhealed
Oh,
wounds, but what
so
exactly
for
is it?
me, trauma is something that everybody receives on different levels. So in my perception, we have four bodies, right? The mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, all within the physical body. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime anything happens in life, right? So say a really happy thing happens and we're like, yay, and somebody hits you with this, oh, I just graduated, yay. Well, guess what your body did at that time? So I believe our emotional body logs all your five senses at that moment. It remembered what you were smelling, tasting, seeing, hearing, maybe touching, right? In the
Right.
same way, anytime somebody goes, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're fat, or heaven forbid, you have car accidents or a loss of a job or a
Mm-hmm.
heartbreak over a death in the family. Like I just had my mother pass away.
Yeah.
It could come from anything. So anything that hits your physical body and shifts you mentally, your emotional body will then, because your mind, I believe, is doing three things. Its job is to teach you, protect you, and motivate you. So every thought we get, that it's logging these things, and it's your database based on this lifetime. So
Mm-hmm.
so then it's using the information that it logged based on experience to teach you, protect you, or motivate you. And so what happens, I believe, is the emotional body gets triggered by a scent or a smell or something they hear, or like any one of the five senses can get triggered. And in a good way, sometimes we smell cinnamon and think of grandma, and we melt, and we're in our kitchen and we're like eating that cookie.
Oh
And,
yeah, you're
and
almost
that,
transported back to that moment. The smell is so powerful.
because it is logged on in within
Hmm.
all of your, and it's there in a physical level, on a cellular level, in
Yeah.
the same way, the trauma. So when you were 4 years old, and my dad told me that I could never be a ballerina because I didn't have the body for it, guess what that did?
Mm.
It logged a trauma. It logged it. Not only did it tell me I could never be what I wanted to be, but then it also told me that I didn't have the body for it. And so all of these things got logged. And since 4 years old, I felt for all my life, when things came up, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that because you don't have the body for it. No, you can't do that because you don't have the body for it. So,
Wow.
so until that energy can shift, because listening audience, all is energy. All is energy. Energy
Hmm.
cannot be deleted, but it can be transformed. It can be alchemized. And that's why energy alchemista, because I have an amazing ability to track it, to trace it, to energetically find it, and then shift it and shift it. So then moving forward, that trigger will never make me feel insecure again, because once I found that root, I got that root, transmuted the root. And so now moving forward, I know I am amazing, and I know I'm a great dancer, and I know that I have an amazing freaking body. Like, right. But for 50 some years, that kept me stuck. That's what I believe the long version of depth of trauma is. And
Yeah.
so we all like, and families, Josh, say all the siblings, because I had three siblings, right? There's four of us. I had three
Hmm.
kids. Okay, we were all raised by the same rules. We all got the same type of lectures, spankings, whatever, right? But man, the way
Right.
my sister perceived it, so different, because she's a unique
Mm.
recipe in her feeling level, in her mental level, in her belief of spirituality, or whatever had grown into that time, right? And the way, so when we would sit together, oh, when mom did this, it really made me sad. I was like, what do you mean? Shoot, that got me motivated. And we're like, so we're so unique. And just
That's
because
so
it was a trauma
interesting.
for her doesn't mean it was a trauma for me, because it motivated me or whatever. So yes, I love people.
Yeah. So some things that can traumatize one person can be an inspiration for others. It's incredible.
It's beautiful because we're unique,
Wow.
and that's what makes us so beautiful. And that's
Hmm.
what makes us able to care for each other, right? Because then we help each other with different perceptions. And then someone says, well, when mom kept telling you show a little backbone, and I'm like, 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 and then it makes me want to cry, it makes me feel weak and broken. And then, like, my sister's like, shoot, it adjusted my crown. It was like, put your shoulders back. It was like, hey. And I'm like, ugh. So I was like, oh, okay, well, what if I lean into that perception? Right? Because
Hmm.
that feels so much better, because the my belief is that we have free will. We have free will. We might have a predestined journey, but the freedom we have is the freedom to perceive it in whatever way we want. So I could be or I could be the queen, adjusting my
Yeah.
crown. But
It's
until I release the traumas, it's almost like I'm unable to afford that belief system, right?
it's so interesting how people can perceive different things, and it's really a projection of yourself, I think. And I think that's why it's so helpful to talk to other people, talk to a therapist, talk to friends and family, tell them what you're going through and get their perspective on things. It can really change how you look at a situation and really improve it. That's incredible. What are some
Yes, and
misconceptions
there's no
about
wrong
trauma?
way. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
honey. What? Because yeah, because some people are like, oh, you have to do this. And the people who are the have to people, No, you don't have to. That's why God made 50 billion ways. There's
Hmm.
50
We're all
billion
different.
ways. 50
Yeah.
billion. So please
So I was
continue.
I was asking about misconceptions about trauma. Trauma's a word that's thrown around a lot these days. Are there any misconceptions that you come across?
Many, many. So for me, it's so frustrating when people say, "Oh, you just manage it," or
Deal with
"deal
it.
with it,"
Toughen up.
or "it can't. This is something forever." So da 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 da. And I'm like, no, it get because so people spitting around their truths doesn't mean that it is that it has to be everyone's reality. And people are so quick to label. They're so quick to
Mhm.
label, and then people will believe the labels. So, okay, you guys, I'm raising my hand. How many of you guys out there been diagnosed as ADD, ADHD?
I have.
Hello. And,
Yeah.
and you know what my perception of that is what I believe to be true is that people that are labeled bipolar,
Hmm.
schizophrenic, ADHD, ADD, these are all highly sensitive people who have the ability to perceive way more energy than the rest of the world. And so those people who hear the things and they're freaking the heck out, well, I have heard spirit, I have heard energy my entire life. I was born with the ability to see and perceive energy. Yes, ghosts, whatever label you guys want to put on it. It's
Yeah.
a really thing because it's energy and your soul is infinite. And when it leaves this body, it becomes omnipresent. And so people like us who are highly sensitive, I know you're getting the chills over there. I could feel you because this is validating a truth. It's validating a truth. And you guys, I'm super, super empathic. I'm a highly sensitive, intuitive person. I can see, I can track energy in this lifetime and other lifetimes all the way in the future. And this is how I know it's already designed. I could go either way. But the thing is these people, they have a gift and they are able to perceive more energy. So people who are perceived ADHD, it's because they're so full of energy. You just walked through the store and picked up his thoughts and her emotions and this spiritual doubt or this spiritual evolution because energy is energy. And then some people are, and some people are like, and then here you are, here, and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm freaking crazy. Yeah, because you just done your sponge just sucked up everyone around you, and the person yelling 2 aisles over, the person who had their
Hmm.
hand on the cart that you want to put it on, your hands are always giving and receiving. And so
Yeah.
I believe that you start tapping because most of them don't understand that it's energy and that, okay, that's the sign. Hey, I'm full. I'm full. Now I need some tools to release. And
Hmm.
when they gain this awareness, they're not sitting here anymore. And they're not because they just don't understand their medicine.
Yeah.
But that's my perception of all of it.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that way. I feel like I'm super aware and super sensitive to people's emotions, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. And not everyone can fit into a box, fit into this box of being a good student and sitting in class and learning and paying attention. I think it's really a shame what the
I know. Sit here. I
education
have my own
system try
fidget.
to. What's that?
Fidget. It's the
Oh,
fidget.
nice.
See, because
Little fidget
you're sitting
toy.
there. People can't just sit in class.
Yeah, it's hard to sit and pay attention. Your kids
Grown
need to be
people can't just sit in a
outside and
meeting either.
right. Yeah, no, I'm sitting on a yoga ball. I can kind of bounce and move around a little bit if I need
Because
to. It's something.
move the energy and see, and now that
Yeah.
you understand and so listening on, it's always pay attention because like even when your hands, some of us feel like our hands get a little swollen. It's because you are a natural organic Reiki person. You don't have to be taught and trained. Our bodies already do it. So when that happens,
Hmm.
it's because you filled up. Put your hands in some water, do rinse it off, or energetically give it permission to release because awareness is everything. Or that feeling of and you know what's so crazy is it feels like it's yours. So what I suggest, so okay, I am the teacher to the teacher. I'm the wisdom keeper to the wisdom keeper, and I'm the healer to the healers. So that's why I attract more people like you, Josh. And so if anybody's sitting in my energy, I already know you're one of me, because or else you wouldn't like me at all. You'd be
Right.
repelled by me, but not. And yes, and so it's like the first thing I tell everybody else. So especially if you're like, yeah, I just got done with meditation, I'm ready for my day. I'm hot. I'm on it. I'm in my lane. And then you go out and so okay. So the minute you recognize your energy has shifted, the first question you ask yourself, listening audience, is this mine? And I guarantee you, intuitively, energetically, you may hear a yes, you may feel a yes, you may sense a yes, or you can always muscle test. I love muscle testing, right? There's 50, because your brilliant mind will tell you. And immediately, oh, it's not mine. Whew. But most of us go, oh, now I feel sad. And then they lean into it and then they absorb it and they
Hmm.
hug it and they become friends with it. Yeah.
What's
Oh,
muscle testing?
oh, muscle testing. I love it. Okay, so my perception, muscle testing is connected to our infinite soul. It's connected to the wisdom part that is all knowing no matter what. But the beauty is I believe it's connected to the subconscious mind, whatever label you guys want to put in it. And that's the record keeper. It's kept a record of every single thing that has ever happened in your life. Anything. So when I help you track and trace the trauma. So for instance, so Josh comes to me and he says, I don't even know why I feel upset or sad or whatever. And then I'm like, that's all I need to know. And then I tap into Josh's energy and I start asking Josh's subconscious mind, what trap trauma, are there any trap traumas or unprocessed emotions that happened in the last, it just happened that has shifted my energy. And so what happens is there's lots of ways to muscle test. And so if you're standing up, you could just stand up and ask yourself a truth. So ask yourself like what your name is. Is my name's Tracy. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel your body actually lean forward. But if you say, my name's Josh, I guarantee you, because I'm not Josh, I'm going to feel like I'm falling backwards. Right. And it's a real
Mm.
thing. And then there's things like this. So if you put your little things like eye holes, but like this, intertwined,
Hmm.
then you could start asking truths. So you bang up against it and you go, okay, and show me a yes. That's what I start off with. Show me a yes. And then a yes is like I'm not, I like vice grips. The stuff it's not gonna
You
break.
can't pull
And
them
then if you're
apart.
like, show me a no, and it's just gonna go, whoop, nope. And so
Interesting.
Michael, amazing Mr. Law of Attraction, Michael Lozier, he came up with this method like this, which is because we want to work fast. And after a while, this gets really strenuous and it hurts in your
Yeah.
muscles and my hands are tired and I can't do it anymore.
Right.
I'm a tracker and tracer, and this is how I get to the things the fastest. And and when I find, so I'll be like, okay, do I have trapped traumas, unprocessed emotions? It'll say, yeah, I have charts, but I have them memorized. And so I start tapping and they'll be, show me yes. And it's like, show me no. Nope. And then I just start doing, okay, does Josh have this or that? And the subconscious mind will be like, yes or no. And it goes through the charts and I'll say, does he have anything in column A? Yes. Oh, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll number scheme until I get to it really quickly. And so that's why I don't have time to be doing all this. So this, it's like so quick and fast. And when we get to the things, then I'm able to delete it. And I actually delete it with magnets. Okay, guys, I swear this is a real thing. If you want to know, I can tell you the exact day it happened, the year it happened, down to the minute that it happened, because your amazing, brilliant body, it logs everything. And every time I've ever, and so I help people with generational healing,
Hmm.
generational trauma. So if you want to be the brave one to stop the molestation in your family, to stop the incarceration, the addictions, the that you've seen, well, you could be the one. And I do it the same way. I find, do I have generational curses, heck, whatever label you want to wrap around it, mom's side, dad's side. And what happens is the whole family gets better. I've had so many people, you guys, I've helped over 1,300 people over the last decade to
Wow.
thrive in life because it's all trauma. It is all the limiting beliefs. I guarantee you, somebody in your life, even some of our teachers who said the most horrible things to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Logged, logged, messing you up.
Right.
Or generational stuff. Like I said, you're fighting an uphill battle. When I tell people, look at your life, look at your family, look at the people. Are you guys all the wealthy family, or are you guys all the addict family? Like anything that you see repeated. And so for me, we had a horrible generational curse of the females in our family not liking the females, the mothers not liking their daughters, and the
Um,
daughters not liking their mothers. And we saw this repeated generation after generation. My aunties, my cousins, you know,
mm-hmm.
gone, gone. My daughter and I are so close, and my granddaughters, her three kids, we've broke it. Her
That's
set of kids are the
incredible.
first set that we have kept safe. We've kept safe physically, mentally, and emotionally, because there was generational patterns of abuse and
Mm-hmm.
molestation and the dirty
Wow.
secrets.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
How do you
I'm
break through
blessed.
that generational trauma? You are blessed. I love your energy.
Wisdom. Thank
Definitely.
you. I energy alchemista.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's you.
really, eh, awareness is the key. Because again,
Being
you
aware of the
guys,
traumas.
until we take accountability for ourselves and how we show up, and start looking for the patterns, because we all have the patterns, but most of us are so busy chasing the rent, chasing our health, running after kids,
Oh yeah.
success, the money, the house, the dog, whatever, that we're not going, man, I'm showing up just like my mom did, just like my dad did. So awareness key, because anytime we get awareness of something, then we can help it to be what we want it to be. And then next, seek the help that feels good for you. And I swear, you guys, I pray about anything. Whether you believe in God, a creator, a higher source, the universe, energy, manifestation, whatever your belief system is, that one, tap into that and start giving it thanks for your way, for your way. And then people like me appear, and you're like, oh my God, she said everything that I wanted to hear. And then give thanks for the trustworthy people of integrity who are here to help you heal and ascend, or the ways for you that are and that are aligned with your perfect recipe. And then who knows, you might get offered a sound healing, but then you got, okay, so when they show up, it's I always think of the joke about the person praying, God help me, and he's like, I sent the boat, I sent the helicopter, you didn't want to get on
Mm-hmm.
none of them. So
You gotta keep your eyes
in the
open for
end, there's no wrong way.
when the opportunity, the
Yep, so
solution
that's the
presents
key, is
itself.
if you have feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an
It's,
awareness. And if you're not sure, it's like I always give thanks. Thanks for my awareness. That I'm constantly connected to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
yeah. Having a
Yeah,
practice of
guys, I
gratitude
speak my
can
life. I
be
create my experience.
gratitude can be really, really incredible. Just how you approach your life and the world, looking at different things and making you appreciate what you have. And it sounds like really, if you want to deal with your trauma, you really have to look inward and focus on yourself and take that time and find someone to help you, like yourself, to help you figure out what your traumas are. I have a hard time remembering my childhood and I've been working with a therapist trying to figure out, my traumas and why I have trouble, with addiction, with food and other things. And it's
Yeah.
challenging. How do you
Yes,
how do
I
you
would love
advise
it.
people when they don't even know what their trauma is?
And I will tell you the simplest form of recognizing anything is your discomfort level. First and foremost, how are you mentally? Are you like, oh, I love my life? And every thought you're having is, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm planning this and I'm doing that. Because if you ain't there, if you ain't in that one, that's it. Anything mentally, limiting beliefs, right?
Hmm.
Self-sabotaging,
Yeah.
those things that are telling you, oh, you'll never have enough money, you don't have enough support, right? The mental stuff, right? Or emotional stuff. So again, so I gauge my emotions. So do I feel like crying? Am I filled with anxiety? Am I
Hmm.
depressed? Am I angry? Flipping people off, cussing away a storm. Okay. These are things that are not peace. They're not joy. They are not elevating. And so the reality is all is energy, and energy can only be positive or negative. So if you are experiencing anything, and spiritually, people are like, what is spiritual drought or pain or spiritual trauma look like? It's the thing that says God doesn't love me. God's punishing me. If there were a God, this wouldn't be happening to me.
Mm.
That, those kinds of things. And that's the trauma. That's somebody, and I was raised Catholic. Oh, guilt and all these things. And so when you are ready to start processing, that's how you identify anything that is causing you discomfort. And then that's when I am so grateful for the for me to transform this, or I'm so excited to get excited about my life, because for me everything's a flag of, well, what do you want? But most of
Yeah.
us get stuck with, oh, and then the car broke down, and we get stuck in the story. We get stuck in the story, and then the story keeps validating itself for us, and then it keeps coming back, and we keep staying on
Hmm.
that record. But there's so many ways. There's so many ways to heal, because some people don't want to talk about it. I know I started off that way because I had zero awareness that anything else, there were any other choices. Right. So I went to talk therapy for like 13 years. And what I learned, this is when I started really recognizing the differences in the energy body, because the Western medicine therapists only address the mental, the mental thing, and then they give you tools, but they don't at dealing with the triggers and dealing with the symptoms, because we don't understand that these symptoms could actually be resolved. Just like in Western medicine, if I would have only done the orthopedics and the physical therapist, I would have never walked again. Oh, now it's like it says low internet signal. So in the end, your way will be there, whatever way it is. Just pay attention to
Hmm.
how you think, how you feel, and if you're in your passion and purpose, or if you're like doom and gloom and life's beating me up.
Right. Yeah. There's so many people that are dealing with chronic diseases like, diabetes, heart disease, inflammation, all kinds of things. Can these be related to trauma that people are holding on to?
I believe it's all trauma. I believe that the physical body is exuding dis-ease. And so
Mm,
that's why they named it disease.
right.
And again, this Feelings Buried Alive book, Feelings Buried Alive, it has a like somewhat of a dictionary in the back. So this is what I really use. So if you are my client and you're telling me, oh, I have a heartache or I have these symptoms, right, that you have, one of my first and foremost tools I'm going to go to is that book, and it's going to tell me, oh, nerve damage or fibroids or nosebleeds or diabetes or cancer. And then it's going to have breakdowns of these things. And it's going to, so this is how they got this, you guys. Okay, so the Western medicine therapist that we talked to, that we went and told all of our woes and hoes, yeah. So guess
Mm-hmm.
what? These two were both therapists, and they paid attention to every one of their clients had reoccurring symptoms. And so what they did is they connected the dots, and they said all of our clients who have diabetes are communicating these exact same pains and hurts, the exact same. And then the people who suffered from nerve damage, like me,
Mm.
or thyroid issues, they
Mm-hmm.
all exuded the exact same feeling and thought, the thought and the feeling around the thought. And this is how they logged this book. So first and foremost, you know, that is so telling of the mind. And this is where I really came to the conclusion my thoughts caused my paralysis because of my belief system.
Mm.
And life had to match what I thought and what I felt about my thoughts. It had to. There's so many scriptures that talk about the power of our words. So many, so many. I'm like, and people, because sometimes when I use my words, manifestation or law of attraction or these things, they're like, oh, that's not God. It's all one.
It all works together. Yeah, it makes me think
Yeah,
about,
so
talking about the power of your words, about the book, The Four Laws of Attraction, be impeccable with your word and how your words have meaning. And it's really powerful. So so you're saying that these diseases are caused by trauma, or it's something to do with
yes.
the trauma
So
holds
what
back
I
from
believe
healing
happens
from
is,
them.
oh,
Uh-oh.
great. Come on, Signal.
Did we lose you?
No. Now my
I can
signal's
still hear
getting
you. There
low.
you are. You're back.
Almost. Yeah, I was like, no, don't lose me, Signal.
Hang
Okay,
on.
yeah. So yeah, let's try that again. Yeah, so the question again
So are the diseases that people are
was
dealing
so
with,
this is what
are
I believe
they,
happens is
our connection's still a little unstable?
uh-oh. Okay, so hopefully you can still, yeah, hopefully you can still hear me. So this is what I believe happens. So many of you guys have seen the water test, right? And if you guys haven't seen it, you guys could Google it on you, go out to Google or go on YouTube. And there was a doctor scientist person who talked to the water, and he talked mean to the water, and the water
Mm-hmm.
got ugly and it got dirty and it shifted, right? And in the same way, when we continue to talk to ourselves because we believe what we think and hear from ourselves more than anyone else or anybody else. That's why some of us, people could tell us we're beautiful all day long and we're like, no. People can tell us you are so smart and we're like, no. Because if we don't believe it, we can't receive it. We can't. We're like, eh. In the same way, if you think all day long about, oh, I'm so unloved, nobody loves me, I don't have any friends, I don't know why I have any friends, then that forces your cells, your cellular structure to get contaminated because it
Mm.
understands low vibration and it understands that it's either positive or negative, and anything you repeatedly say on a negative thing, it exudes on a physical thing. Even acne, uh like foot fungus, the smallest little things, and I tell you they always are the same. It's all from the thought. So when I help people, I energetically through the Reiki will find the blocks, but through whatever communication I'll target the trapped traumas and unprocessed emotions. And this is how I've been able to successfully help people with diabetes or stage 4 cancer or remission. But my work is you got to be committed to the 4 energy bodies. And that's what people don't understand. It takes retraining your thoughts. It
Right.
takes focusing on the emotions. I mean, really being, and it's so many things said this is the hardest thing for people ever to do in life. So when you're able to focus your thoughts, shift your emotions, or help heal, and with all of the healing methods I have, it makes it so easy, especially when you don't have the triggers anymore. Then your body will force itself to shift. I'm a #1 best-selling author in 13 different countries, thanks to a book called Healthopedia that was co-written with the best healers in the world, like Dr. Bernie Siegel. For over 30 years, he has talk therapied people from cancer, and he was one of the first people over 3 decades ago who recognized that when the people were able to communicate about the pains and the hurts and shift that, then the cancer went away.
How
And
does
so
that
many
work?
others. So I am, isn't it amazing? Because
It's
they're
incredible.
trapped traumas or unprocessed emotions. So when you're able to process the emotions, and what does that mean? That means talk about it and be like, oh, I was so sad when my mom died. And like heartbreak is a real thing. It
Yeah.
is. And so people who suffer from heartbreak, their poor little heart, it, it, it hurts, and it doesn't pump to the whole body in the way it's a real thing. Yes. Amazing. Transform.
Right. How can people support loved ones that are dealing with trauma?
Oh, I lost you there. This darn
Oh,
signal. Come on, signal.
I asked how people can support loved ones that are dealing with trauma.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, so really the best ways I love to suggest are sound healing. So soft, gentle tones in the background, because that will shift energy so quickly. Music is
Hmm.
one of the keys. Dings, bells, drums, or just even Googling on YouTube, healing sound for grief or for trauma or whatever, and I promise you something is going to come up. And if they're allowing of that, then that's great. And gentle pats, if somebody is
Mm,
able to allow you to embrace them or to touch them, gentle pats, gentle taps, especially during those moments. And you can feel that if you just do that gently now, just so gently, you'll feel the shift just start to, and it'll move. And especially if you do alternative stuff, because it forces the left and right brain to connect and,
yeah,
and engage,
the
so they
different
both get
hemispheres
relief. Yes,
tie it
so
all in
many,
together.
so many. And give them an opportunity, be great listeners if they want to talk. Not everybody wants to
Yeah.
talk, because some
Sometimes
people
it's
do.
hard to listen too, especially if you're
Oh,
more, empathic. You take in all that and it can be overwhelming sometimes. I know when my wife has a rough day and she comes home and she wants to talk about it and I'm there listening to her and afterwards I feel like I need a rest. I need to go recharge. It
yeah,
can
you need to,
be,
now you understand, you need to release the energy. You
yeah.
need
So how
to
do you do
bring
that?
yourself
How do
out.
you release the energy?
Oh my gosh, so many ways. So I was like, where's my sound bowl? It's right here. So I love, and I have this here all the time. So I actually have right here my biggest thing, my sound bowl.
Oh,
So,
wow. That's a big
and
one.
I pour it on myself. I'm like, yes, and I sit in here and I gong myself. I'm like, "Ah." And it's like an emotional shower. I have jingle bells, little play toys. I love, because sound is the fastest way to move it.
Hmm.
Some people, going for a walk,
Yeah.
sweating, crying. Crying is
Hmm.
so refreshing. It's just depending on who you are and how you feel. But it,
Right.
and I like to do preventive stuff. So preventive to me means if I already know somebody's reaching out who's having a moment, I energetically just visualize. Always put my hands together gently and I just visualize armor. And I'm just like, armor, activate. Armor. I'm like, armor, activate. And again, your consciousness will do whatever you think, even if it sounds ridiculous. You'll feel an energetic code of protection. Or you tell
Mm-hmm.
yourself, I'm in listening mode now. Let myself be the straw and allow everything to run through me. And in the same place, when I declare the straw, I declare that any communication that I am giving from that point comes from great divine creator and is only serving the highest and greatest good. And as their words flow through me, it gets anchored into Mama Earth and transmuted because they're releasing. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, there's so many ways that you can help. And the reality is there's emotional connection. We're going to receive part of it because we can't not. But there are
Yeah.
also other things that we could do to help during
I'm
that.
gonna try that. I'm gonna try that armor thing
You're going to
and
notice a
try
difference. So,
to.
Josh, yes.
I'll
And I
definitely
would
let
love
you
to,
know how it goes.
okay, cool. And you know what? I would love to offer you a session to help you shift that and what you're going through. And if you want to do it on the live, we could do it on the live, or if you want to do it privately, if you want your people to see. But honey, I would be honored if you let me assist you in that area.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I love to try it. Where can people connect with you and do sessions with you?
You guys, I would love for you to reach out to me. And this is a free link, you guys, because I am here to elevate the world. I'm here to heal the trauma, the generational stuff. I'm here to help you get into your pleasure, in your purpose, thriving and vitality. So it Clarity Call with Trey, TRA.com. So that's Clarity Call with Trey.com. And I would love to connect with you there. There's some testimonials. There's a quick calendar link where you don't even have to fill nothing out. Just get in the calendar.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Josh.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on today. I really learned a lot. I had no idea how powerful these energies could be.
Yes. Thank you. I'm so excited to have more opportunities to share with you and your audience. Thank you.
Definitely. I know everyone can use your help and everyone's dealing with something. So thanks again.
Everyone, y'all, and I still do this. I have my own emotion code practitioner because I don't want to deal with, I'm like you guys, I don't want to deal, it's like doing my own taxes. No, I'm emotionally connected. I don't want, so
We all need
anything I
help.
practice, I receive. Yes, thank you so much, Josh. Thank you, everyone. Please
Incredible.
keep following Josh, you guys. Give him some love, give him some
Oh,
comments, let him know you're out there. I would love for you
thank
guys to keep
you.
pouring back into this amazing king. Thank you.
Thank you, Trey. All right. Goodbye, everybody.